listening, multiple choice, single answer method. Let's look at the step-by-step method that we use to answer this question type. Quickly, the question screen on the left, the audio. On the right, at top is the question, and below that, the options. Out of the options, you have to select the one that best answers the question. Now let's see the method. The first step is read the question and options and be ready to listen and take notes. You have about 7 seconds before which the audio will start. So in those 7 seconds, you can quickly glance at the question and the options and then get ready to listen and attentively and to take notes. When you are listening and when you are taking notes, so focus on the key phrases. Don't just look out for the single words. Focus on the key important phrases and at the same time keep an eye on the options in front of you. So you can eliminate and shortlist some options while listening. If you keep your eye on the options, then when you hear something which confirms that what's written in one of the options, then that's shortlisted, that it can be correct. And when you hear something which contradicts something that is written in one of the options, then that is eliminated. So if you do this, then you can eliminate and shortlist a few options by the time the audio ends. This will save you a lot of time and also make it easier to remember and pick the correct option in the end. And once you've done that, then you review, you finalize your option, look at if you've shortlisted any, go through them, and then finalize your option and submit it, and right away go to the next question without wasting any time. Now I'll play this. So read the question, the options, and then try to pick the correct option.
The basic idea of solar geoengineering is that we can cool things down just by reflecting a little bit more sunlight back into space. And ideas about how to do this have been around literally for decades. Clouds are a great way to do that, these low-lying clouds. Everybody knows it's cooler under a cloud. I like this cloud because it has exactly the same water content as the transparent air around it. And it just shows that even a little bit of a change in the flow of the air can cause a cloud to form. We make artificial clouds all the time. These are contrails, which are artificial water clouds that are made by the passing of a jet engine. And so we're already changing the clouds in our Earth by accident, or if you like to believe it, by super secret government conspiracy.
If you want, you can pause the video and then work some more on the question. The correct answer is this, the first one. Clouds can reflect sunlight back into space, and that is how clouds make it possible to do solar geoengineering. Now, the questions. So we read the questions and options before the audio starts. So I can immediately tell this is something about clouds. And the question asks me, how do clouds make it possible to do solar geoengineering? So solar geoengineering, that is another key thing I note from the question. So when I listen, I'll listen to anything that the speaker says about solar geoengineering. And I'll try to understand that how do the clouds make it possible to do this. So the options are given. That means one of these options is a correct explanation of how do clouds make it possible to do solar geoengineering. That is, one of these options will match the information that the audio will contain, and the others will have something, either it's not covered in the audio or it will contradict what is covered in the audio. So now with that frame of mind, I'll start listening, and so within those 7 seconds, then get ready to listen and take notes and capture key phrases when you are listening. So when I was listening, I paid attention to solar engineering, I paid attention to clouds, I paid attention to that they can reflect sunlight, and at the same time, you keep an eye on the options. So when I was listening, I was also glancing at the options in front of me. And the first option, clouds can reflect sunlight back into space, sort of clicked with me when I was listening. And clouds are low-flying objects and can trap the sunlight. So that wasn't really mentioned. So again, it contradicted what I was listening. So based upon that, I thought that second option is not correct. I can eliminate it right away. And the first option, it looked correct to me. And then in the next step, what I did, based upon what I understood, what I had in my notes, I verified. And what were the key phrases that I had in my note, what I tried to capture, what I visualized. So based upon that, I confirmed that the first option is correct. Clouds can reflect sunlight back into space. Now, clouds change the flow of air and reduce the heat. Clouds have water content similar to that of air around them. Now, some of those things, they were mentioned in some way, but they were not mentioned as an explanation of how clouds make it possible to do solar geoengineering. So that's why those were not shortlisted. Those were not the options I finalized. Now that I know option number 1 is correct, I'll just go ahead, submit, and then go to the next question. So those are the steps that you can follow. You should follow. We strongly recommend for this question type.